So today I'm gonna have a pretty hard Vo2 Max session combined with some heat training. So don't try this at home. And it seems like you guys think it's interesting with videos where I'm just taking you guys with me through the session and talking. So that's what this video will be all about. And before I'm gonna tell you about today's session, I thought that I could tell you a little bit about what I have been doing for the last couple of weeks. Because it's now 3 weeks since I came home from China, where I was racing Tour of Qinghai Lake, where I ended up 7th in the GC. The week after China, I had a pretty easy week, and then I had 2 pretty solid training weeks. As you can see here, this is what the training week was looking like. The main focus those 2 weeks was building fitness and working with both threshold and LT1. And the main sessions those 2 weeks was 3 pretty big threshold sessions, 2 pretty steady long rides where I was averaging 240 to 250 in average power. And the reason for that was because I wanted to work with the efficiency and get the load as high as possible. And the last main session for those 2 weeks was a hard session, but not a Vo2 Max session. It was more like working on high power without getting too tired. So I've had 10 by 1 minute and 10 by 30 seconds with pretty good rest and pretty high power, just to work with the efficiency at high power. So after 2 pretty big training weeks, it's only 10 days until Arctic race of Norway, and it's time to work a little bit more with the Vo2 Max. So today I'm gonna have my first Vo2 Max session in 5 weeks time, I think. And today's session I'm gonna do on a turbo, as you maybe already have seen, but that's because of pretty bad weather today. And the session I'm gonna have today is 8 by 3 minutes with 3 minutes rest. And after that I'm gonna do some heat training. And it is important to be prepared. So this is what I'm gonna consume today. Some Haribo, 2 gels, 1 bar, 2 bananas. And I also have some bread and a protein shake for after the training. And for the last couple of weeks now, I've been starting to use just pure sugar in my bottles, because for the first, it's very cheap, and the other reason is that I can adjust how much carbohydrates I want in each bottle by myself. So that's pretty nice actually. And the equipment I'm gonna use on today's session is my Moxie sensor, my core sensor, and I'm also gonna take a lactate measurement during the session. I'm soon done with 20 minutes easy spin, and I got some questions related to my pre-workout routines. And to be honest, I don't have that many pre-workout routines, but today I started my day with some breakfast, just some bread with Nutella and banana and strawberry jam and banana, and also a cup of coffee. Then I was doing a little bit of stretching and mobility, because I feel so much better after just stretching a little bit in the morning. And I also have a Red Bull during the warm-up, just to get in some more caffeine. I was drinking a coffee and then now a Red Bull. It's not very much caffeine, but it is a little bit, and I feel that helps on important sessions like today. But enough talking for now. I have to do a warm-up, and the warm-up I'm gonna do is 6 minutes LT1, 3 minutes threshold, then some rest, then 4 times 30 seconds Vo2 Max with 15 seconds rest, then some more rest, then some sprints, then I'm ready to go. done with 6 plus 3 minutes. Now it's 4 times 20 seconds. And the last thing I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna have 2 sprints.
Come here and visit my world, did history, shining stars. Our love is the only way. Don't get lost, cause I'm waiting.
Okay, 4:30. Two done. Feels all right, steady, hard, controlled. And the reason why I'm doing 3 minutes pretty hard now with pretty long rest is because in Arctic Race of Norway it's lots of short hard climbs. So this session is all about just to get prepared for what's coming in Arctic Race of Norway. Done with 4. Excited to see what my lactate is now, because that tells pretty much about how my lactate response is at the moment. I have been doing lots of training to push my Vela Max down, so then we'll see if that training has worked or not. But hopefully it's not too low, because then I have to do lots of work to get my Vela Max high enough before Arctic Race of Norway. But we'll see. 9.5, so at least high enough Vela Max. You're probably wondering why I was measuring lactate on a Vo2 Max effort, because of course it's high. But the reason why is because it could be 5.0 and I felt it was all out, but it could also be 14. So that's the reason why I was measuring now, to see where my lactate response is at the moment, because I don't want my lactate response to be too low, because then I would not have chance to push very high power for a short period of time, and I don't want it to be too high either, because then I will get empty pretty fast. So the clue is to find the perfect Vela Max, where you are very efficient but also have the ability to push that high power when it's required. And I feel now that I'm in a pretty good place actually. So some more specific sessions before Arctic Race, and then I think I will be pretty good prepared. So a little bit more rest now, and then 4 times 3 minutes again. And I think 430 watts is pretty good actually, because it felt hard, but at the same time it was controlled, so GG.
Yes. släpper bara dunder. Shoutout till kranen. Jag skickar minst 50 sängar och går ut för dagen. Tänker hela klubben. Du hittar mig vid toan. Jag delar ut mitt nummer.
2 more. Done. New measurement now to see how much the lactate increased over the last intervals. I'm guessing 11.3 actually. And if that is true, I don't have to do that much more high power workouts. $11.7, so pretty spot on. Now I'm gonna do some easy spin, close the windows, turn off the fan and turn on this heater because I want to get it as warm as possible inside this room now. And then I have prepared lots of clothing here, and I'm gonna use just some old clothes because when you're sweating as much as you do when you are having a heat session, it's not good for the clothes. So that's the reason why I'm not using my Santini clothes while I'm doing heat training. And one device that's very useful when doing heat training is this core sensor, because it's measuring my core temperature. So I'm using a pretty thick base layer, then a painting suit, then some pants over the painting suit. And then on the upper body, I'm going for a winter bike jacket, then another jacket, and then a rain jacket. And then I'm also going to use some plastic bags around my feet. And to finish it off, I'm going to use some gloves. Whew. I'm already sweating, and you're maybe wondering why I'm doing this session straight after a Vo2 Max session. And reason for that is because I actually think heat sessions is pretty good for recovery, because the heart is beating pretty fast, but the mechanical load on the legs is pretty low. So I feel it's a good way to just spin out legs. But the reason why I'm doing heat training now, when I only have races in cold conditions left this season, is because I've really felt the benefit of doing heat training. Because when you're doing heat training, you are getting more blood or blood plasma. So I have actually been doing heat training before my last 3 important races, because it's a good way to get in shape. And the way I'm doing heat training is that I have 50 minutes long sessions, and I'm gonna have 7 sessions before Arctic race of Norway, and I feel that's actually enough because I'm doing it so close to the race. And I like to do the first 10 minutes of the sessions close to LT1 feeling, and then adjust the power slightly down during the session. So my goal when I'm having this kind of sessions is that I want to have the highest heart rate as possible with the lowest power as possible. And of course, I want my core temperature to quickly raise up to a pretty high temperature and then just try to stay there. But for now, I have to focus because this is pretty hard. Just past 20 minutes, soon 39 in core temperature and almost 170 in heart rate at 200 watts. I'm gonna adjust it down to 160 now and just keep it there. So don't try this at home. 30 minutes done, 20 left. The core has established on 39.2, so that's good. And I'm pushing 160 watts with 165 to 170 in heart rate, so exactly what I wanted. And for me, the hardest thing about doing heat training is to find the perfect combination between wearing enough clothes and pushing enough power, because you won't get your core temperature high enough if you not are pushing enough watts, because power makes heat. Done with the session. Was riding very easy for the last 5 minutes, and I reached 39.4 as the highest core temperature, so pretty good. I hope you guys understood a little bit what I was talking about in this video. If not, just comment down below. I will try to answer as many as possible. It's not that easy to speak clearly when you have a pretty hard session, so sorry for that. But once again, thanks for watching, see you next one, GG.
Yo, what? Bump and grind. This one there make you bump and grind. Move to the left, girl, move to the right. Step on the line when you bump and grind like. Yo, bump and grind. This one there make you bump and grind. Big bass line make you bump and grind. Left to the right, you a bump and. Yo, madman.